Hey, how are ya? I painted these a long time ago, never did the voiceover. We're here now. It's alright. I abandon things sometimes, and that's okay. It's okay to give up, as long as you come back to it. Unless you don't, then it's fine too, because I do both. Here I am with my gouache paint and my watercolor paper. Now, here I am doing one on a watercolor paper. On some of them, I tried to paint on this. I got these mats, like photo mats, but they're blank, so I was painting on them, but they come with this backing sheet. And so I was like, what if I just paint on this? That's fun. No, it's not fun. You know why? Because they like bowed out or bowed in. They bent like so extreme, and then I couldn't get them to unbend. So they've been sitting under a stack of books for a while because I just was tired of dealing with it. I couldn't even get a picture for prints because I was like, sometimes if I just keep all right. I just keep originals sometimes. I keep originals because I love them is one reason, and I can't part with them. Another reason is something's wrong with it in some way, and I don't feel like fixing it, so it's gonna sit and rot on my shelf. I'm just kidding. I usually put them somewhere. Like some of them I don't feel like painting the edges. It's as simple as that. I'm not selling it. Sometimes there's something wrong with them, or they're really bent weird. So, moving on. I am doing fun colors. That was my other goal here, and this was something else I gave up on was we've talked about this, the themed book restock. And these really sucked the soul out of me because they're difficult and they required a lot of thought and so much. Well, I was trying to do fun color palettes. Did I already say that? So, but that's nice. That's always nice to get out of your color comfort zone. Like these are fun. But then there are just so many. The books there's just a lot, straight lines, which I usually don't worry about, but you have to kind of worry about. And then there's just like a million layers. But that's okay. They're still cool. They're still fun. And I was really, look at me go. And speaking of books, which we weren't really, but I'm going to start speaking about them because I'm painting about them. I saw a TikTok recently of a guy talking about how people who read a lot quit books more often. Whereas people who don't read as much, and then they hear about a book and they start reading it and they hate it. So they just sit on it for months and refuse to give up when it's like, just quit the book. Just quit it. Just quit it. It's fine. And one thing about me, I'm good at quitting things. I've always been a quitter. I said at the beginning of this, I quit with these. I just gave up. And they'll come back eventually. Sometimes I won't. Usually I will, depending on the situation. Sometimes I quit books at the end, at the conflict, because I get stressed. But I usually come back and finish it. Sometimes I don't. And I've tried to stop doing that. But also, whatever, you do you, past me. It's whatever. But look at these fun colors. And you know what also? I think I use Kindle Unlimited, so I just truly give anything a shot on Kindle Unlimited because you can just return it. And if I'm at the beginning / middle and I'm like, I hate it here, or I just simply don't like it and I'm struggling to read this and I don't care to finish it, I leave. And if I get a physical book that's like that, because I usually when I buy physical books, it's from an author that I know I'll like, or I can tell, and sometimes it doesn't work out, but whatever. I can still use it as a trophy on my shelf then I can look at it like, look, I read this. It also fascinates me how you can't trust book recommendations because they are so, you can somewhat, but it's so personal to each. It depends, it really depends on so many things. Because sometimes okay, sure, the book isn't great, or the writing is weird, questionable, maybe even, but I really love the characters and connected with them, or relate to one of them, or just love some aspect, I will rate that thing so high, Usually if it's something like that, like I read one recently where I really loved the characters, and I truly had so much fun in the story, but some of the writing took me out of it sometimes, and I was like, okay. And so I give it 4 stars. So if I love everything, whereas I know other people don't, everybody rates things differently. I rate based on feelings, and I just knock off stars if there's weird things, like the writing is kind of weird or cringy or... Oh my gosh, I read one. What did she say in there? So the one I did recently like that, it was called A Dream of Stars and Darkness. One I found on Kindle Unlimited. And I read that thing in one day, and I got lost in the story, and I had so much fun. The writing took me out of it a little bit, but I loved the characters, so I gave it 4 stars. Whereas, and now I'm reading the second one. What did she say last night? Oh, so it's a fantasy book, and one of the main characters said, I ship them, talking about 2 characters she wanted to get together, and I was like, oh, you did not just write that in this book. You did not just write that. You did not just make me read that. That was like, ugh. So some things are unforgivable, and you just can't come back from that. But it's... But again, I'm still having fun in the book. I'm just here for a fun time. So... I also just don't love recommendations. I like finding books on my own and having 0 expectations, because that does ruin it sometimes, because people go in with, if somebody's like, hey, I love this book so much, and so they go into it with like, okay, this is going to be incredible, whereas your 5 stars is not my 5 stars sometimes, you know? Our vibes are not the same. We're not in the same place. We don't connect to the characters the same way. Hey, look, Milk Duds. I would love some Milk Duds right now. But I'm really hungry, actually. It's 5:40, and I haven't had dinner. What will I eat? I don't know. I made this pasta stuff. Would you like to know my hyperfixation food right now? It's soft pretzels. Frozen pretzels that you heat up and you pour salt on them. Comes with this little bag of salt, but I keep eating those for so many meals. They're just perfect for, because a lot of times I'm not super hungry. I wake up late and I'm like, well, what do? It's 11 o'clock. I can't eat lunch food. I don't want breakfast, so I wait a little bit and then I eat a pretzel. It's the perfect wake up at between breakfast and lunch meal, and I do that a lot. And late night snack, or late night dinner, when you don't eat because you're full from your like 2 or 3 o'clock lunch. My schedule's all, listen, my eating habits don't match up to normal ones, because I have my own schedule, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I haven't talked at all about what I'm doing. What am I doing here? I'm outlining in gouache. The last one I outlined it in a micron pen? However you say that. I never know. And that is easier, and I did like how that looked. But this one I'm outlining in gouache. And sometimes you gotta do that. You gotta do it for the plot. You gotta do it for the vision, even though you don't want to outline in gouache. But sometimes you do, because you're like, well, let me try it, and it'll look cool, because I want this dark brown color, and I don't have a dark brown pen, even though it just looks black. So it doesn't really matter. But it does. It does in your heart. So I add a lot of those vines in whatever color I'm outlining in. I feel like that brings it all together too. And what a fun assortment of colors. I have nothing to say. I want to finish this voiceover though, so. I have been stressing about my Taylor Swift outfit and what I'm wearing. I'm not doing a full themed outfit of an era, because I don't know, man. But I did find these jeans from Free People that have like embroidered flowers all up the sides, so I'm definitely wearing those. And so I might end up, and then I have this shirt that kind of matches it, but I don't know how I'm gonna, I don't know, man, I don't know. But, so I may be looking like debut album anyways, because it's kind of, they're like really flared jeans, and I might be looking kind of country, which is okay with me. I don't know what my favorite era is. I panicked when my friends who I'm going with, I need to ask them what they're doing, but nobody's brought it up, so I don't want to bring it up. So that's how I am. Uh, group chats scare me. I don't want to be the first one to speak. I can't. And I usually won't respond as much. I'll respond maybe once, but they scare me. And that's a fun fact about me, even with friends I've known for 1,000 years. And, hey look, I'm outlining. Anyways, I love Red. Love that album. I grew up with all of her albums, but the first one that I really remember at the time of it was Fearless, I think. When I hear those songs, I am like in my friend's car going to her house for a sleepover, like that vibe. And it's just such a, oh my gosh. But I love all the eras. So I wouldn't be able to pick, and I don't really want to do a costumey thing. I've never done that, and I don't really want to do that. Like Folklore and Evermore are my favorite, I think, but I have to base my favoritism off nostalgia, because we gotta consider the classics, we gotta consider everything here, and what means the most to me over the course of my whole life, not just now, you know? I simply can't pick. I don't know. There's ones off each that I love, and I think maybe Fearless might be my favorite and mean the most to me. But yeah. You don't care though. But you heard it anyways. And things are coming to a close here in this video. We're finishing this up, and maybe one day I'll sell these. I'll let you know. I should have timed that at the same time as so I could be like, hey, here they're for sale now. But you know what? I don't think things through. I'm really hungry and I want to leave. But I love you, and I'm glad we're here together in this moment. And I'd like to make prints of these as well, but only time will tell if I'll do that. If I'll ever pick it up back again. I'm laying my head down. Can you tell? Okay, sorry. Alright, it's been fun. It's been great. And it's about to cut off abruptly as they always do. And here my pen isn't working. I'm fighting for my life with these pens, and I'm losing. So I was trying to go back and forth, and it was a struggle. But hey, it worked out. It just decided to work again. I love when that happens. Okay, love you. Bye. See you later. Bye.